Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, for Destroying the Meta, we're going to be doing Stephen Fane's Mermail deck. Why did I pick Stephen Fane's Mermail deck? Because I figured even that Stephen Fane did pick up this deck at the last moment. He's a really good friend of mine. We play a lot. He's a really good player, and he knows exactly what to do to get him some wins. Obviously, he did make a couple of misplays, but it didn't cost him the game. That's the only thing that counts. We're going to be doing his Mermail version because it has a lot of features that almost every Mermail deck will play, and so we'll be able to counter them effectively. His build consists of 1 controller, 1 lead, 1 title, double Megalo, triple Tias, 1 Dragoons, 1 Turge, double Aqua Spirit, triple Pike, triple Wind, 1 Gun, triple Marksman, 1 Undyne, 1 Oshia, 1 Dyne, 1 Infantry. For spells, Salvage, triple Typhoon, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Bottomless, Squall, Torrential, Compulse, double 2 Chains, triple Sphere, and 1 Solemn Warning. His extra deck consists of Leo, Black Rose, Gaios, Draco Sack, Big Eye, Bahamut Shark, 101, Exiton, Lava Volchain, The Dweller, Allure Card, Leviair, Anganir, and 2 Abyss Trite. His side deck was double Snowman Eater, which he said he did not like. He was going to take out because of a ruling that he did not know of. Double Maxx C, D.D Crow, double Mind Crush, Dust Tornado, Overworked, Light Imprisoning Mirror, and 2 Black Horn of Heaven. This was a very interesting deck to profile and a very interesting deck to do. And like I said, he's running almost all phases of Mermails. He's running Mermails with back row. He's running the level 4 engine to go into his Bahamut Shark play. And he's also running the big Mermail monsters. Now there's a couple of counters to it, and there's not really much counters to it at the same time, because these couple of counters will be able to effectively destroy the Mermail deck. So let's go to our handy dandy Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia. And under Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia, I'm going to type in the Holy Trinity, what happens to be Soul Drain. Oops. Soul Drain is going to be one of them. Macro Cosmos is the second one. And Dimensional Fissure, I like to call it DeFi. But, ooh, right, here it is. And Dimensional Fissure. Now, if you can, which you should be able to, at least Soul Drain and DeFi should be able to fit into your side deck. The reason why these cards are so important, these 3 cards, is because they're all limited to 1. So if you play one of each, technically you would have either 3 Macro Cosmos, 3 DeFis, or 3 Soul Drain. Another big thing is that these 3 cards, the Holy Trinity to shut down Mermails, completely shuts down Mermails. It says no to whatever they do. It completely destroys how the deck plays, just because it prevents them from activating their effects to the graveyard, and it banishes their monsters that go to the graveyard. If you are going first and you open up with this, and your opponent cannot get rid of this card in Mermail, they actually lose. It's nothing they can do except for scoop it up and go into game 3. That's how powerful these cards are against them. Obviously, there are decks that cannot run it, but I'm saying if you can run it, or if it doesn't hurt you, if it doesn't inhibit your plays, you should be running these cards. Now, for the Mermail players that are siding against Mermail, you obviously can't run these cards because it would just completely destroy you. So, there are a couple of cards, like Mind Crush, which is an extremely good card. When they reveal for Megalo, if they are playing the level 7 variant, when they reveal for Megalo, when they reveal for Tias, you activate Mind Crush, you discard that card from their hand. They don't get to summon their monster. Granted, they still do get to discard their monsters from their hand because that's part of the ignition effect, that's the cost, but they don't get that level 7 monster to the board, essentially meaning that they can't summon it. Now, also, you can Mind Crush anything that Turge gets to their hand and anything that Pike gets to their hand, unless you're Mind Crushing Gun. Never, ever, 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 ever Mind Crush Gun. I cannot explain to you guys how many people have Mind Crush Gun, and I had like a Megalo or a lead in hand on the graveyard. I'm like, thank you, you just activated my gun's effect. Unless it's like turn 1 and they have no Mermails in their graveyard, Mind Crush is always bad against Gun. It's one of the dumbest things to do. Mind Crush also is very good against a lot of other decks like Fire Fist and such, so it's just a really stable side deck card to side. Next would be a card that is ever so growing in popularity, Debunk. Now, Debunk essentially does the job of Mind Crush, except Debunk removes the card from play. So, and then it also negates Lens on top of that. So Debunk is really, really, really good. It essentially kind of has that dimensional fissure thing, and also that macro card, or I'm sorry, that the last card I was showing you guys, which is Mind Crush thing, all wrapped up in one, and that's why it's a pretty expensive card. For those of you who can't afford Debunk, I guess we're gonna have to go to option number 3, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, this card is not bad against them, but it has its weaknesses. I mean, just like every card, like the last 2 cards I showed you, they were traps. They're susceptible to back row destruction. This card, on the other hand, it's still good in its own sense. It's immune to back row destruction since it's a hand trap, and it still gets the job done. D.D. Crow. You activate D.D. Crow on Abyss Lens if they're your problem, on the whatever your Megalo sent to graveyard to stop that effect from ever happening, on Gun's target, just whatever. And D.D. Crow completely gets rid of that card. That could be game-changing right there. D.D. Crow is just another one of those great cards to side against Mermail. Now, a couple of cards that I've been seeing people side that I really feel is not good at all, one being Maxx C. I've never Maxx C'd a Mermail player ever in my life. When I used to side Maxx C against him, because I used to think Maxx C used to be it. It used to be the card, and if you didn't run Maxx C, or if you didn't side in Maxx C against Mermails, you were bad. After my hours and hours of playtesting against Mermails, it's actually the contrary. Maxx C's not that good. If your opponent, if you Maxx C your opponent on TS play, they just stop on the TS play. If you Maxx C them on the Megalo play, they just stop on the Megalo play. They don't, unless they really need to go through with the Maxx C, then it's not really productive. It's only going to get you that one card. Also, if they do need to go through with the Maxx C play, Effect Veiler will probably do the job, but better, because they need to summon a whole bunch of monsters and exceed and do this. Then you just Effect Veiler the outcome, which means you are already in the winning position. That being said, like I said, Maxx C, not really an amazing card. There's one last really good card against them, which is you're gonna have to really wait for that. Finally, Maxx C comes up. Is Vanity's Emptiness. Now, I would type in Vanity's Emptiness, but Wiki is acting up, or my laptop's acting up, or whatever one you want to call it. I'm just gonna type it in anyways. Vanity's Emptiness. One of my favorite trap cards of the game. Completely locking out your opponent out of special summonings. All you have to do is stop your opponent from destroying one of your cards. Now, granted, a lot of Mermail players have stopped playing infantry, which means they have less face-up destruction on the field, which means your monsters are practically protected if they're over 1600 attack. Great. A lot of Mermail players also have dropped down marksman from 3 to 2. But if Vanity's Emptiness is your only back row, and they only play 1 to no infantries, then you should be perfectly fine with just having Vanity's Emptiness on the field sitting there chilling. It shouldn't be a problem. It also locks out all of their special summons, so they're very limited to their Pike and Turge play. Really good card right there. Another card one card that would be bad against Mermail other than Maxx C, that people would think is just amazing. Can't really think of any right now, but I know Maxx C never really panned out really good. Not when I can be siding either D5, Soul Drain, Macro, Vanity, Mind Crush, D.D. Crow, or any of the other above cards that I have said. That being said, that's pretty much how you counter Mermails. There's a couple other cards that I have not mentioned, and I would like for you guys to mention down below. Thank you guys for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Please like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy.